Guys, this week has been packed with truck news, and I have more for you. This has to do with the new 2022 Ford E-Transit commercial van. But it's not just for commercial purposes, of course. We all know that vans are used for many things, including motorhomes, overland machines, delivery vans, work vans, everything. And this is pretty big news, I think. And it may also have a glimpse into what's happening with the next all-electric F-150 as well. So let's go over all the news right here, right now. We have everything. We have specifications, range, charge times, cost, when it's going to be available, everything, price. So right here, I'm on the TFL truck page where we have all this news already published. You can, of course, check it out for yourself. The van looks about the same as it did before. So I'm also going to show you a few images and a video clip of this van going around. It's the world debut for this particular van. And also talk about competition a little bit, because this space is becoming competitive, of course. So let's dig in a little bit more. So let's look at a few images of this particular van. Hear this. It looks basically like what the Transit looks like right now. So if you were expecting some sort of futuristic bubble machine that looks kind of weird or cute or whatever, this is not it. The Transit, E-Transit, it actually has the same kind of front-end design, windshield, and also body sizes and configurations as you've seen already with the van that's on sale right now. And actually in the United States, the Ford Transit van is the best-selling van currently. So I think this is because Ford paid attention to some of the specifications that commercial customers and fleet customers had, not necessarily, private or consumer customers like maybe many of us are. So what was important to those fleet customers? Of course, uptime, durability, maintenance costs, charge networks, but most importantly, kind of interior size. So because these vans have been around for decades and years, there are many upfits that already modify these vans and add shelves to it, or tools, toolboxes, different body styles, maybe box truck styles. So Ford says that their fleet customers asked to remain, for the actual cargo capacity and cargo volume and size to remain the same as it was, so they don't have to redesign everything from scratch as far as upfit and adding tools and everything else to the van. So that remained the same, and also the styling mostly remained the same, I think for the same reason, and also to enable Ford, I think, to actually release this van in a more quick fashion. They're saying that it's going to be going on sale at the end of 2021. So about a year from now, you may see these E-Transit vans running around delivering packages, etc. Your plumbing service, your cable person, your satellite person, everywhere. So right here, there's also an image showing the power output of this van, because you can actually plug your tools into it. We've talked about it already with the new F-150 hybrid for 2021 that's coming this year. But in the E-Transit van, this inverter generator system is capable of 2.4 kilowatts of energy. So it's enough to run a saw or two, maybe charge some tools, etc. But it may diminish your range, of course, because you do have on board a 67 kilowatt hour battery. So it's not a huge battery. And I think what Ford had to do here, they had to strike a very precise balance between battery size, recharge times, range, and cost of this van. They're saying the base version, this cargo low roof, short wheelbase, will start at around $45,000. So yeah, it is a bit more than a current commercial van, but what they're saying is you will be saving on fuel maintenance, or actually fuel costs, and also engine maintenance, etc., over time. So the cost should be fairly attractive. for a fleet customer over the long term. Then, of course, it's electric, so it's quiet. It can go into major cities or actually work maybe even indoors in various warehouses, etc., etc. So all of that stuff, like you see right here, will be, obviously this van will be capable of doing. And they're saying 126 miles of range. So that's maximum range. And they didn't quite specify exactly what load, but they did, Ford says they did a lot of research, they looked at a lot of data, and they said that the average fleet customer in a major city drives a van, this commercial van, about 74 miles on average per day. So 126 miles for the smaller van and maybe about 108 miles of range for the larger version configuration of this e-Transit. It sounds like enough, because you don't want to be constantly recharging, right? So if you can actually get your job done for the day and maybe go home to your depot or headquarters and actually charge overnight and then do your work again the next day, then of course, it's kind of a win-win for everybody. But they do have charging capabilities, obviously, and they shared a lot of it. So let me show that to you right now. So they're talking about charging solutions for your home, because many workers who use these vans actually keep them at their house. So that's going to be available. Or charging, like I said, using the network, public networks of chargers and some other Ford dealership provided charging networks that Ford is building out. But here's kind of some of the data that we have here. So this is what Ford is saying: 11.3 kilowatt input onboard charger and 10.5 kilowatt output, 115 kilowatt peak direct current fast charge capability. What does this mean? This means on the fastest charging, the fast charge, you can go from 15% to 80% of battery in about 34 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty quick time, but not probably the fastest charging times you've seen from other electric vehicles that are currently available. Then on a 50 kilowatt circuit, you can go from 15% to 80 in about 65 minutes, about an hour. But then if you're actually taking it to your house or charging it at home, it can be between 8 to 12 hours of charge time from 0 to full. So if it's completely depleted, the battery is gone, you'll be able to charge, it appears to be overnight. So that's good news. And of course, if you need a quick fill up for electricity, they're saying that, for example, on level 2, depending on which current you're using, it can be about 10 miles per hour gained of range, or about 15 miles per hour gained of range. Or in a fast DC, fast charge circuit, you can gain about 45 miles of range in about 15 minutes. It just depends on what's available to you in your local area and how you can charge this van. So that's good stuff. Let me show you a quick video of this van doing kind of what Ford has shared so far. Basically, the good thing is it's going to be available in several different configurations. So low roof, medium roof, several lengths, as you can see here, even the high roof. Ford is not talking about a passenger version of this van. So if you're hoping to make this into a perfect overland machine or a motorhome, it's not quite meant for this, right? So the range is a little bit low. The cost is a little bit lower, right? Because of that, because the battery is a little bit smaller, but there's still a lot of power, 266 approximately horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque. It's a rear-wheel drive configuration with independent suspension. So that's quite interesting, and maybe this is a glimpse into what's going to be available on the Ford F-150. Let me pause this just a second. Because the all-electric Ford F-150 Ford has said is going to be available in 2022, so about maybe 2 years from now, maybe a year and a half from now. So in the Ford F-150 all-electric truck, they're talking about a dual motor setup. So this van has a single motor, rear-wheel drive, configuration. Ford says this is going to be providing good traction, up to about 4,200 pounds of payload for a cutaway version of this E-Transit, or about 3,800 pounds of payload for the cargo van version of this, the short wheelbase, low roof. So those are good specs. What is it going to be for the F-150? Well, if the F-150 is using two motors, I guess maybe, this is just my speculation, you can double that power output. So maybe 266 horsepower becomes about 520 or 530 horsepower, which is going to be, quite a lot of power, but it's not going to match, the 1,000 horsepower that, Hummer EV is claiming, when they're going to be coming out with it next year. So it depends on which way, Ford wants to go with that. But they're saying that their F-150 all-electric will be the most powerful and the quickest accelerating F-150 they have made. So yes, the technology is available to them. How they're going to do the battery sizes and payloads and all that stuff for the truck, it's still to be we still have to wait for that information. But for the E-Transit, they also talked about kind of the ease of entry. So they went to this electric shifter that you see on my screen right now. They also went to an electric parking brake. They're saying it's to free up space, so you don't have like a handle bar to kind of be in the way by the seat, or you don't have the big clunky shifter, so there's more space. The grille is a little bit different, and the charge port is in the front, as you can see here. So there it is on the road, driving around. So we'll have to wait at least a year to see this van in action on the streets around. But Ford says anybody can order one. So you don't have to be a business or a fleet or a major corporation to order one of these vans. If you do want it for a small business or for yourself, you'll be able to order one of these electric transit vans. Before I close out, let's quickly look at competition. So on TFL Truck, we have many different stories here. So Fiat and FCA, Stellantis has an e-Ducato van in other markets, not in the US. They have a 2021 version electric van that you see here. We have a story about it on TFLtruck.com. This van will have a couple different battery options, as you can see here, 137 miles of range, or maybe up to 225 miles of range. So Fiat is claiming longer range for their electric vans. So they're working on this, and versions of this van already are on sale in Europe and some other markets. So they're working on it. Mercedes, of course, has been working on this for a while too. They have the e-Sprinter, which is their electric version of their Sprinter van. This is also available in Europe and some other markets. They're going, they have slightly less payload, as you can see here, between about 2,300 pounds, around that mark. And similar, a little bit lower range actually for their first generation of e-Sprinter, about 93 miles of range. So they kind of have the similar mentality where, you don't have to have huge range in order to, satisfy a lot of big city needs for these vans. Then they're also talking about fuel cell capability, but that's, still coming. What else is going on? Well, Rivian and Amazon are working together on their van. This van looks very futuristic. We don't have a lot of specifications on this van. We just know what it looks like and what kind of technology it's going to be offering. They're claiming or rumored to have about 150 miles of range in this Amazon all-electric van, available in 2021 as well. Rivian, of course, also is going to make a pickup truck and an SUV, but none of those vehicles are on sale yet. So Ford is the first, for United States, mainline, full-line manufacturer, OEM, to offer, or actually to give us, this view into their electric commercial vehicle lineup. There's also Bollinger, who has announced kind of a heavy-duty all-electric van. This is their concept, Deliver E. And I've spoken with the CEO of Bollinger, Robert, about this van. They're targeting several different weight classes, different battery sizes, different ranges. So they're also working on this. But once again, Bollinger is a small startup company, and they don't have, they haven't sold almost any vehicles yet. And of course, Ford has a big dealership network, and that's their strength. And I think that's why they sell a lot of transit vans and a lot of trucks and cars in general, because across the United States and North America and the world, their dealership network is pretty massive. And also their commercial dealership network is huge. So I hope this gives you a good overall view at this new in-transit. And of course, go back to tfltruck.com right here for all the details. Thank you.